That was good banter, too. Damn.
I know.
Okay. All right. MVP. I'm making a lot of noise on the
better? Are we live? Good evening, Free Play Twitch listeners. I'm Chad Montgomery, your host of FPHops, and we're doing tonight at Free Play Arlington. We're doing a Summer Nights Brewery event with Community Beer Company. Immediately to my left, your right, is Mary Bowen.
Hello.
Or otherwise known as not Zach Johnson.
That's right. Correct.
Thank you to Chris Dell for injecting a little humor
Great
into
job,
our
Chris.
podcast.
Thank
You are
you.
definitely not Zach Johnson.
No, sir. Triple no, sir.
And to my right is Josh Davis. Josh, say hello.
Hello.
For those of you who don't know, I am starting a new beer bar and coffee shop named Civil Pour in Dallas. And Josh is actually hire number one on our team. He has joined our team as a beer manager. Woo. So he's going to be probably buying some beer from Mary at some point.
Yes, yes, we've already talked about it.
Okay, all right.
Make it so, number one.
So again, Free Play Hops, where this is a weekly podcast, we've started talking about beer and the different things that Free Play does regarding beer. For those of you who have visited the arcade, obviously you know that Free Play has something like 150 different beers in the arcade and really put a lot of focus into the beer program. Here in Arlington, we have 6 taps. Free Play Richardson has 4 taps, and the new Denton Free Play, which just opened up, has 52 taps.
Holy cow, that's a lot.
I mean, that has to be the most taps in a dedicated arcade, I would think, anywhere in the world.
I have no idea.
Of the world, Craig.
That's a pretty big stretch. We'll see.
I mean, I've never heard of anything like that.
Probably I haven't either, so I mean, it's got to be up there.
Yep,
You should
for
totally
sure.
just Google it.
I think I'll Google it.
Let's talk a little bit about this Summer Nights Brewery event that Community's doing. Mary, talk about the beers that you guys have featured tonight.
So we have 4 beers in the house tonight. I'll start with this lovely, tall Texas can, the Texas Lager 19.2
It's
can.
a gigantic
Stovepipe.
can.
Huge.
Beautiful. Just hit the market like 2 weeks
Compare
ago.
that to my hand. That
Oh,
thing
really?
is,
I mean,
that's huge.
it's tall. It's easy drinking.
Is every beer in this package, or which beers are you guys
No,
doing?
we only do this lager
Only
in
in
the
lager.
19.2. And it's because putting Mosaic in 19.2 can is just not socially
I mean, that's
responsible.
That's kind of like
It's
suicide.
like
already got
hurting
12
the
packs
people
of it.
who buy your beer.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
really not a great idea.
I thought 12 packs was a stretch, but I mean,
Well,
19.2s would just
So
be.
am I going to find this in the trough at Fuel City for like $1.25 after I get my tacos at 6 a.m.?
eventually, I feel like eventually, yes.
Okay, all right.
The price point is so that it could be a $2 or $3.
Have you seen
Yeah.
places selling this
Yes.
individually yet?
Yes, Central Market, Fort Worth.
Nice.
Whole Foods, Arlington.
And
up the
you said
street.
$2 or $3 price point?
Yeah, like
Pretty awesome.
a 33.50 case, so
Awesome.
a couple bucks a can.
Is it 24 in a case?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so $1.50 is roughly your cost on that. So
Yeah. So if you're making margins
you're
3,
going to see that at 3, and if it's at a bar, it's probably like 5.
right?
Yeah.
5 at a bar is what the standard has
And
been.
you can make
so
money
far.
as a bar on that. I mean,
Absolutely. And
And you're
who
a
doesn't
customer, you
love
get
this branding. I mean,
almost 2 beers.
I just love this
Yeah, it's enormous.
tall Texas can. It's beautiful. On to the other things we're pouring. Sorry, I got a little caught up here. Raspberry wit beer. Josh is drinking.
Oh, right here. Got it.
So what we do is take our. Yeah, that's
Josh is
great.
sort of drinking out of the side of his mouth right
That's
now.
great.
That's really
So we have this really, really great Belgian wit that's kind of modeled after Hogarden.
It might be the best Belgian wit beer in the world.
good. I really do love that beer.
It
Community
did win
wit
a
beer.
World Beer Cup
I think it was a gold, right?
Yeah. At the World Beer Cup. And lots of coriander. I love all the coriander in that wit. So what we do is take that really great wit and add raspberry. 16 pounds per barrel.
16 pounds per barrel?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh my God.
I know. It's a
That's
lot. So it's like a 5.5% Belgian wit. Just-
And it looks a little cloudier than the last
Yeah,
time
it's
I had
quite
it.
cloudy.
Is that
so
normal?
this beer was tapped today.
Okay. So you think it may
Moved
just be a
around
little...
today.
Just shaking up a little
And
bit.
it's kind of normal for it to be a little cloudy or even almost gray when you first tap a Belgian. especially unfiltered Belgian wit.
I
So
like
this
the
beer is
cloudiness.
totally unfiltered.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Is it bottle conditioned?
It is not.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No. The only beer I think we've bottle conditioned is the Trinity Triple.
Okay.
And we don't brew that beer anymore, but it's like a 9%.
That is disappointing
Yeah,
to me
that
because
one what was the other one? The quad or something?
the Divinity was the barrel aged.
Inspiration
I don't think Inspiration.
is the other beer that
I love both of those.
they-
All three of those actually.
Yeah, they're such great beers. But, you got to take things away and then give them back.
Bring back Texas Pills and Vienna Lager. That's what I'm saying.
I have a half barrel
I
of
don't think
Vienna
Vienna
Lager.
Lager's ever coming back.
I
I
don't know
have a half
I
barrel
saw-
of Vienna Lager in my warehouse right now.
I was looking at it on the list.
Yes, sir.
and like, really? Like,
Yes, sir. They did a small batch.
Really?
And they had like 15 kegs.
I
And I
love
hope
that
they
beer.
do it again because it's
Very
really
cool.
great beer and people seem to love it.
Did it sell pretty well this time around?
It did super well
Good.
in my market. I can't speak to
Oh, yeah,
Dallas
was that
and all the
a
other
different,
places,
but-
but
Was that a keg only product, or did you
it
guys
was
package
draft
it?
only. Yeah,
Okay.
it was draft only.
Initially, it was bottles and everything.
So, for those of you listening in the audience, Civil Pour is actually going to be focused on draft-only product that is not available in a package for our draft offering. So we have the largest beer store in the Metroplex right out our front door. So we don't put beers that are in package on draft. It
That's
just
really a
doesn't.
great idea.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it really doesn't.
So
A
that's
lot
what
of
we're
people
focusing
do
on.
it, and I don't know why.
So Vienna Lager would be a great one for us.
Yeah,
That would be
we
perfect.
can talk later, Josh.
Okay.
Yeah. I do love that beer, so I would have no problem with that at
Yeah,
all.
I love that you are so well versed with everything that we make, though, because your
I've kind of-
employment history
I've kind of been around community for a while.
for all the times.
I mean,
That is true.
like
Okay,
within the
let's
first few
see.
months.
So Razzie Wit,
And this one.
Texas Lager. Okay, so we have a draft only option
Yes.
Oh.
in the house tonight. The
And
Public Enemy #1.
One of my favorites. That's what I'm drinking.
So what it is, it's oak aged public ale on cherries with Brett.
And what's
Double.
Public
I think
Ale?
it's double, right? Double public ale.
It is double public. It couldn't be 9.6 if it wasn't double
Just,
public.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
took
the barrel aged.
I took some details off the. Say again.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say I took some details off the web. It says double GABF gold medal winning ESB public ale, which is extra special bitter, aged 5 months in a white burgundy barrel. You said it was oak though this time, right?
Yeah, that white burgundy
Probably
is
an old description.
Probably a
something
dated
else.
one.
That's something else.
Yep.
But
three
what I
Brett
love
strains.
about this beer is it's not crazy malty. The cherry's in the perfect place. It's 9.6 alcohol. The name in itself is really awesome. I'm looking for a place to who pours beer and screens movies to
Oh, yeah?
do the Edward G. Robinson Public Enemy #1 movie screening
Nice.
Brain Dead?
along with this beer.
They do movie screenings, right?
That's true.
So
Brett
I
does.
think that's a really good idea. I've been pitching it. Well, I'm still trying to find the person who wants to do that.
Very cool. All right.
And then the other beer that we are pouring is Silly Goza.
Silly Goza is delicious.
Very refreshing.
Yes.
Great beer.
It was a new beer for us last year,
Uh-huh.
a seasonal, and it caught on really well. So we took it year round pretty quick, and it does super well for us.
Probably
I love
one
it.
of the
5.2.
easier drinkers in the lineup.
I think so. You can definitely tell that the base is a German wheat beer,
Mm-hmm.
and that we don't use very much salt
Yeah.
in this beer at all.
It's not super abrasive or like
No.
overly sour or anything. It's really refreshing.
It's approachable for people who maybe want to like sours but aren't so into burning your face off.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Do you know the story behind Goza?
Maybe I might if you remind me. I'm not sure.
Do you know the story behind Goza?
I know it was a dead style.
Yes, it's like
Was
a
it that
really
style?
old German beer recipe. That's what I
Yep.
do know.
I knew that.
So what's interesting about Goza and why it exists is the German town that it came from happened to have a really high sodium content in the groundwater.
Oh.
So when they brewed, of course, they didn't know anything about filtration back in, let's say, 1050 or 1100 AD.
Right when the style was created.
And they just brewed with this salty water, and now we have Goza.
That's really awesome.
It just happened.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really cool story.
Been drinking sours forever.
I did know that some people add calcium to water to make it a little better to brew with. Because
Well,
of
there's all kinds of chemicals, or not chemicals, but things you add to water.
Water treatment.
Minerals,
Right.
water treatment, yeah.
Right, and so the more calcium, the better it's supposed to be for brewing. From what I
Calcium
understand.
chloride is very common in the new hazy New England IPAs
Isn't that
are
crazy?
common.
Gotta get that Northeast water.
Yeah.
Ship it down.
Bring
Big
the
old
water
truck. Truck full of water.
Oh, and then we have Mosaic in a bottle.
In a
Good
bottle?
old classic Mosaic.
Awesome.
They keep it here all the time.
Do you guys bottle date your IPAs?
We do. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
perfect.
Mhm.
How fresh is this? Is this IPA? I'm
Yeah,
just
do
kidding.
we
Well,
have
it was delivered on Thursday.
Do we have a date? Do we have a date count on that Mosaic
I
IPA?
need that real quick.
It's super, super good. Even if it's not super, super fresh.
Everyone loves Mosaic. I'm just
It's
messing
great
with you.
beer. And because it's so malty, if it's not super fresh, it's still great beer.
Yep.
But I'm just thankful that I get to work for people who are so passionate about beer, who are so
How long
good
have you
at
been
it.
with Community?
2 years.
Okay.
Mhm.
And who else do you work with? Because didn't Ashley leave recently?
She's still there.
She still works with
Oh,
us.
okay.
Ashley
Who am I
Kelly.
thinking of?
Carrie, our Denton rep, she moved to
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of
Union
Rocky.
there.
Rocky from Lakewood. She
oh,
recently
okay,
left.
yeah, she did.
yeah.
She did.
That's what I was
That a lot of things are moving around over at Lakewood. Lots
They are.
of
They are.
stuff moving.
Yep.
I love all those guys. I'm going to their anniversary
Yeah, they
this
got their
weekend.
anniversary. I
Are
saw
you?
that preview thing.
Yeah, I got a personal invite.
Awesome.
I'm pretty stoked about
I don't
drinking all the Tim Dry.
I don't know how to get one of those. I didn't receive one.
I didn't get an invite.
They must like you, Mary.
I know all the people because
You know all
of
the people?
beer. Because of the beer, you know, you kind of have to know all the people.
Apparently, Chad and I have been messing with the wrong beer. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We didn't
Cheers,
get that.
fellas.
We didn't get our invites.
Cheers. We also get some spot challenges going on and some summer night swag giveaways that are happening. And I think Chris is going to be on the mic later, maybe announcing some of those different giveaways, the spot giveaways. And occasionally we'll do some challenges where there's a specific thing you've got to do on a game or whatever. Do you know of any of the swag that's being given away tonight?
There's a big, beautiful Texas Lager or tin tacker.
I can go.
Cool.
Can I snag
over there.
that?
Sure.
Oh, you got it.
We gave away a bunch of
Look at
koozies,
this
and
view.
we're still giving away
Nice.
some glassware
Oh, it's gorgeous.
here tonight. Isn't that nice?
That is delicious beer. Nice
Um,
little tin tacker.
Yeah, so we still have some glassware to give away with pints.
Cool.
I've given away all my koozies. I've been here since about 6, so
Okay.
working the room, spreading
Awesome.
the word.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about Community Beer Company tonight?
Oh my goodness! I mean, how long do you have?
Well, at some point I want to reintroduce Zach, so that's why I was asking.
Poor Zach just sitting over there.
You doing all right?
I'm good.
It's a really great place. If you haven't been, please come and hang out with us and drink beer. And
What days of the week are y'all open? And
we
stuff
are
and
open.
such?
That's a good idea. Thank
Yeah,
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. We do taproom hours Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 5 to 9.
Okay.
We do a tour on Saturday from 2 to 5, but we stay open till 10.
Okay.
We rent the brewery out all the time, personal events, private events.
I bet Mondays and Tuesdays are big days for private events.
They are.
Since they're not open, right?
They are. But what I really love about community is, I mean, it sounds so cliche, right? But we really do try to work with the community and with helping people and being involved with this craft beer thing that we are so thankful and lucky to be involved with
Absolutely.
and help grow this amazing industry. We really do our best to do that.
Hey, y'all
And the
represent
people-
DFW well.
And the
Thank
people that
you.
work in craft beer do it because they love craft beer. Nobody, well, except for maybe a handful of people, nobody
Yes.
got rich from craft beer.
Nah, not for the most part.
Well,
Yeah.
so I was having a conversation with a gentleman here a minute ago, and we were talking about Shiner, and I mentioned to him that they aren't owned by the original owners anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said, "Wow, I didn't know that they had sold." And I said, "Well, it really kind of comes down to how much does your passion cost?"
Yep.
Yeah.
At
The
Ballast
Gambrinus
Point,
company owns.
at Ballast Point, it was $1 billion.
That's a lot of money.
I don't know
It is.
anybody who would say no to $1 million. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That's
Yeah,
just,
so
it's a lot of money.
So that's what's so cool. Like, we get to do this really great stuff. That's our passion. And people come and offer us all of this money for what we put our heart and soul into.
Oh, are y'all getting offered money?
No. Not community.
This is news, breaking
What-
news.
No, not
on
community.
FPHops.
I mean, like, craft beer, craft breweries, craft beer
I'm just
people,
kidding, I
Four Corners, Deep Ellum, all of the
Yeah.
things that have been happening
Oh, there's plenty, yeah.
in this industry of late. Even Ballast Point, I was amazed at how much money they were paid.
Ballast Point's pretty big.
Yeah,
They're enormous.
yeah, and they've been making really great beer for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think it's really a testament to how important a part of the community this really is.
Yep.
This beer thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's awesome.
absolutely.
So I appreciate you guys having me.
Thanks for joining us. This was
Yeah,
fun.
thanks for drinking the beer.
Yeah, of course.
I'll make sure you get your free glass to take home.
Oh
fellas.
yeah, all right. What kind of glass is it?
It's the old Texas flag pub glass.
I can't
They're
remember
back
if I have that one or
and
not.
in full effect. I'm sure you have one.
I might. I probably do.
I'll bring it to you anyways.
I love duplicate
When you
glassware.
take it
I
home-
collect duplicates.
You take it home to Alex. He's gonna throw it on the ground.
That's probably true.
All right, thanks, fellas.
Well, thank you for joining
Mary.
us.
Cheers.
So I guess in just a minute, Zach is going to rejoin us. Zach is
Where'd my phone go? Oh, there it is.
one of the managers here, I think, or lead bartender. Zach, can you fill us in? Because I think I may have mistakenly said. So what are you the lead bartender here? Are you the one of the managers? What's your role at Free Play?
I am, I think, slightly de facto, slightly just by knowledge, the lead bartender.
Okay.
Just that was how everything
In
worked
tenure, you've been here a while.
out. Yeah, after Cody went over to our Denton location, he was doing some of our ordering and stuff, and then that kind of fell onto me after he left. I mean, I was helping out and everything as it was. It was kind of the two of us, but then everything switched over officially once he moved over. But
So let's talk about. You actually segued in brilliantly to our next topic, which is Free Play Denton.
oh yeah, no,
Have you been there yet?
I went there on during their soft opening.
Okay.
And it was really like I never got to experience the 52 drafts, but I think I'm gonna go up there probably like next week at some point.
You didn't drink all 52 drafts? What were you doing there, man? You wasted time.
They didn't have their TBC at the time because they had run into all those TBC issues up there with opening a growler bar. With apparently somebody had like a partial stake in St. Arnold's that also owned part of the building.
What?
Yeah,
Then they found out that person didn't own part of the building. It was just they were listed on some documents.
insane.
That's baffling. I have no idea how that happened.
But, was like, no, we can't allow that because that crosses the 3 tiers. We can't do that.
It's horrible.
But yeah, no, next week's going to be insane with them. With what I think Monday is if you buy any 64-ounce growler, you get a growler for free.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
you buy the fill and you get the vessel for free.
Right.
Yep.
And it gets more and more ridiculous as the week goes on. Like I think it gets to the point to where I see on there it's the 10th, 11th, and 12th that if you're wearing a Free Play shirt, you get in for $1.
Yep.
Oh, that's
$1
awesome.
admission.
I need to get one of those shirts tonight.
Yeah, there you go. And they're actually,
And it's just like it's stuff like that where I look at it and I'm just like, this is awesome. Like this is something awesome that they're doing. Like whether or not it makes like a ton of
Oh yeah, this one.
oh, I
do have
remember
this one.
these.
I love it.
Oh, those are cool.
This is like my favorite style of glass. That's one of them. I love the
Really?
puff style glass.
This is awesome.
It's a beautiful glass.
Even
I drank all the community beer last night whenever I was putting on all the kegs. So I sampled everything last night. Don't get me wrong.
Texas brand.
I was
We got Texas
got some
Lager,
koozies.
everything. I'll take it.
oh man,
okay. Sweet. I got a koozie for my glass now.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
gonna
no,
say,
last
is this
night-
gonna fit my glass because
Last night when we were putting everything on,
not looking good right now.
I went ahead and sampled all the drafts to make sure they were, still good.
Oh,
There
that's
wasn't
nice.
any
Of course.
contamination in the lines or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So if you were working at Free Play Denton, you wouldn't sample all 52. Would
No,
you?
I mean,
okay.
well, you sample them as they go on, so
I
that way
see,
you
I
pace
see.
yourself a little bit, but you don't want to. No, that's a little too much.
Sample them every morning and night. That's the rule.
Exactly.
Well, I know all week next week is the grand opening week, and the reason for that is Free Play Denton has been so busy every single day that they thought a grand opening day would really just flood the arcade with probably too many people.
Yeah.
And I think that's a smart idea. So, Monday, as Zach mentioned, buy a growler fill, get a free growler. Other specials throughout the week. Free koozies, I think, is Tuesday. Swagapalooza, kind of like what we're doing tonight with lots of giveaways going on. And then all weekend, $1 admission on the 10th, 11th, or 12th, as long as you're wearing a Free Play shirt. So definitely check out the grand opening next week. Free Play Denton's very cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I've been up there, and they have an amazing curated selection of taps. I would be probably remiss to say they're one of the 10 best tap lists in North Texas already.
I loved them when they only had packaged beer. Like it's just now they have 52 taps, it just makes it all even more I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be even better.
Well, they're definitely planting the flag in Denton.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely stole that Taps and Caps old location and made it so much better.
Yeah. No, I mean, he told me how many games are there. Like, he told me the amount of games.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, they said they had like something like 80 games or something. In there.
No, I think it's like 55.
It's a lot of games.
I remember hearing it was more than I thought. I was kind of sitting there looking at them like, that can't be a right number.
No, it's like 55. I'm pretty sure of that number.
That's still a ton of games
in
for
the space that they have.
Right.
It's basically 1 tap per game, I think, is what the rule is. Yeah, so they've got 52 taps, at least 52 games. That's a minimum.
Okay.
So if we,
of course,
if we drink a beer for every game, can we do it in a day?
Collectively, I think we could manage it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, collectively. So
I couldn't do it myself.
So Chris is saying I may be close to correct. Definitely way more pinball percentage for sure. There's a nice row of pinball machines. There's just happened to be a really good space with these pinballs.
Yeah.
Kind of a deep little crevice whenever you first walk in. The pinballs are to your left, right across from the bar. So you're never be far away from the bar if you're playing pinball.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about some local beer news. I wanted to give a shout out to my buddies at Vector Brewing Company, which won't be on the scene until 2019. So you're like, why am I telling you about a brewery that's opening in 2019? Well, I think this one's going to be significant because former marketing manager for Lakewood Brewing Company, who's been with them since day one, Craig Bradley.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's starting Vector Brewing Company.
Oh, that's cool.
He's sort of targeting that East Dallas, Lakewood area. I know he's told me kind of some buildings they're looking at. And I think it's going to be pretty special from what he's told me.
Do they have a brewer yet, or is he brewing?
He does have a brewer. I made some speculative guesses, and I think we named it on choice number 1.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very non-committal about accepting whether or not that was his brewer, but I think I have an idea who it is.
Oh, so you can't say it. Okay.
Established brewmaster who does some good things.
Ooh, brewmaster. Okay.
Well, I just use that term loosely.
Okay, all right.
Maybe trying to throw you off as well.
Okay, whatever. I don't have to know.
In other local beer news, there's been kind of these weird rumors going around that somebody either may be up for sale or closing their doors. I've been hearing these things. Do you guys have any more information on that?
I honestly haven't heard much about that.
This is always something that I hear. Like, it may, granted, there may be truth to this rumor, but maybe 6 months ago, I had heard that Martin House was going to be shutting down at some point. And I was like, what? And I was like, what? And sure enough, like, anytime you ask somebody who actually knew what was going on, they were like, no, nothing is going on. That rumor got started. Like,
they just paid out their investors not that long ago, so it's like that could have been why it started. But no,
it's, and that's why I'm always a little bit skeptical whenever I hear. So either somebody's getting bought or going under or something, because I'm like, it seems like it's almost like a rumor mill of something's always going on.
There's always a rumor mill, but it's almost always accurate, too,
really?
where there's something happening.
It's surprisingly accurate.
Well, I will tell you this. After I heard that rumor, I did a little bit of digging, and I found a business listing for a brewery in DFW that's for sale. It's located in Rockwall, and my belief is that it is Wood Creek. I'm pretty sure Wood Creek is up for sale right now.
Makes sense.
And the purchase price was something like $400,000. And the business is apparently profitable about $90,000 per year. So it's about 4x net profit. A very fair valuation, I think. No, I cannot buy it. You're correct, Chris, because they are
some sort of tier system.
Well, what Chris is talking about is, in the alcohol industry, we've got manufacturing, and then we've got distributors, and then we've got retail. And those are the 3 tiers. And you can't have any crossover between those 3 tiers. The only exception to that is a brew pub, which if Wood Creek is a brew pub, they actually are considered a retailer. And in that case, I could buy it. And as small as they are, they probably are a brew pub, so I may be able to buy it. But I don't want to, so that's not of interest to me at the moment.
They might have gone for full production. I'm not sure. It's not always...
Sometimes you're small and you go full production just because you think you're going to scale.
Yeah, exactly. You think everyone thinks their product is going to launch.
You can switch licenses later.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's like Panther Island did recently. Who was the other one that did recently?
Oh, the first one.
Rabbit Hole did.
Oh, did they?
Rabbit Hole did recently.
So there might be one more, but I'm forgetting. But yeah,
Jester King, I think, was the first I knew of that did that.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a wise decision a long time ago. They were really thinking ahead, but. I mean, everyone just wants to do production. They just want to see their beer in a Kroger and get distro and all that stuff. And
I mean, it's
Actually, I don't
exciting.
Jester
It's-
King,
it's
I think,
very
is still a brew pub. They still sell bottles out of their own place.
Oh, Jester King is brew pub.
Okay.
They switched
Yeah.
from production brewery
to brew pub. Okay.
brew
Okay.
pub.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going the other way with that.
No. They wanted to be able to sell to go, and when that became allowed
Right.
for brew pubs, that's when Jester King said, "Well, we should definitely do this," and
Yeah.
they made absolutely the right call.
Because they're not gonna. I don't think in any time in the near future they're gonna be doing over 10. Is it 10,000?
It's 10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think their
10,000, yeah.
production's around 2,000, maybe
Yeah.
2,500 barrels.
I just don't know if people understand how much 10,000 barrels is.
It's a lot.
That's a ton of beer. And it only,
300,000 gallons.
310,000.
I mean, Community only got
If you wanna
above
be-
10,000.
Yeah, that's
Community's above 10,000 now, right?
Yes.
So
are.
they only got above that like a year or so ago.
Community,
like it was
Lakewood.
not long ago.
Revolver, Deep Ellum, RAR,
Yeah.
and Four Corners.
I was gonna say
those
Four
are the
Corners. I would guess.
6 that are over 10,000.
You got to be a really successful brewery in this market. Well, in any market really, but in this market especially,
Yeah, because
to
there's
get
so,
above 10,000.
Yeah, there's
Thank
so
you.
many.
Appreciate it.
Because there's so many breweries in this market.
Yeah, I think we're, if you include brew pubs, I think we're in the 60 neighborhood, somewhere around 60 breweries in
Yeah.
DFW,
Yeah,
something like that.
it's around there.
That's a lot.
And I remember when we had 0 in Dallas proper for a very long time.
Yeah, until like
until
07,
2011.
right? No, 7.
Well, Dallas proper.
Oh,
I mean,
Dallas
the
proper,
city
sorry.
of Dallas.
Yeah.
And that was when Deep Ellum came on the scene.
Yeah. And Pedicolis was like, they were right around the same time, right?
Yep. I think within a month, I think Pedicolis opened up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about that. Let's talk about one of my favorite things is Hazy IPA. Tup's Double
course.
Dry Hop Batch number 3 just came out.
Okay.
I'm
actually
super
tried it.
excited about that. Have you tried it?
I did try it, yeah.
How was it compared to the previous 2?
Oh, maybe I might have been. How recently did it come out? Like it was like the last.
Within the last 3 or 4 days.
Okay, then I was the other one that I
You
tried.
had
I had
batch
2.
two?
I had batch 2. I liked
stuff
batch
was
1.
good.
I like 1. Actually, maybe it was 3 that I had because I remember going like, I think I like the last one more because I've had 2 of the 3 for sure, but I haven't had all 3 of them.
Well, batch number 1 is what we had at Big Texas Beer Fest, and
That was wonderful.
one of the best hazy IPAs I've probably ever had.
Yeah. No, it was.
Came out
It
of
was.
Tup's.
That was the best IPA there, in my opinion, honestly.
Little old McKinney, Texas.
Yep.
Tup's making a fantastic
Yeah.
double
I
dry
had
hopped IPA.
batch 2, and I was like, man, if I like more of the approachable hazy IPAs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That one was definitely like, I can respect this beer. It is
Yeah.
delicious.
Drinking like juice, you mean?
Yeah, drinking like juice is basically what I like. But yeah, no, the aggressive bitterness on that one was delicious and like a little too much for my palate at the same time. Maybe I need to work on that.
Zach, what kind of things have you guys been up to around here lately, beer wise?
We've been, man, so I was on vacation for a week, and the amount of kegs that I walked back to not have was kind of incredible. We pushed.
Meaning you guys sold a lot of
we
beer?
sold a lot of beer in the week that I was gone. I was happy and sad at the same time. We sold through all of our Imperial True Love.
Oh,
we
I
got-
haven't had that yet.
Oh man, I'll get you a can. I think I still have a couple of them.
Okay.
They
sweet.
are delicious.
Really?
It's
Oh.
just, I mean, it's
I love
just
True
like
Love.
8.6% True Love. It is what it advertises,
I love
and
True
it's
Love.
amazing.
So it's not boozy or anything. You
No,
can't get the alcohol.
no, it's great. It's a little thicker just in general, but
Yeah.
I mean that's to be expected.
Yeah.
I think we pushed through like a keg of Half-Life. We went through Rabbit Hole made a tangerine jub, which is their hef.
Wait.
Wait.
Tangerine what?
Tangerine
saw this one.
Hefeweizen. They only kegged it if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I think it's called Jub, but it was a tangerine version of their Hefeweizen that they put out, and we got some of that in, and I really wanted to try it, but by the time I was back, I was like, awesome, it's all gone.
Because their old hef was Tweedle Yum, and that was like a flavored hef, if I can remember correctly. I think it was like a cherry or something. But they had-
Cherry hef?
I can't remember what it was. It was some kind of. It wasn't just a hef though.
Right.
The
That would be
strawberry.
new.
It was a strawberry hef.
Okay.
Strawberry. Okay.
Yeah, and they released that long ago, and then they discontinued it. And I think they might have brought it back one time since then, like draft only. I didn't know about this though.
Yeah,
That is
they did
news.
I think that's the name of the beer, but they're definitely doing like a new hef now
Okay.
called, I want to say it's Jub, J-U-B.
I think that sounds familiar.
Is that one word or two?
I think 2.
Okay.
I don't want to get too into it, but yeah, no, that from what I can tell, that beer sold really well. Went through Half-Life as well, but I love.
Well,
those
I mean, Half-Life is amazing.
I love those Manhattan Project guys. They're
they're
great.
fantastic.
Do you guys have a rep for them, or are you just dealing with one of the owners?
They don't have a rep, from what I know.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
We did an event with them maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and one of their owners came out, and I have nothing but good things to say about that man because he
Jeremy
was here.
or Carl?
Carl. Carl's out
Jeremy's
here.
the brewer. Carl's
Carl's
the owner.
their.
Him and his wife.
Yeah, Carl was out
Jeremy's
here.
an owner as well.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy is too.
Carl was out here for the entire time, just talking to people, hanging out, like not pushy, but at the same time, like really wanted to share his beer with everybody, and like all around great guy. And they make delicious beer.
They're great people with great beer.
Having a hard time getting open. Like they've been working on that location for a long time. City stuff has really held them back a lot. Like build out and just various things that have come out with Dallas County. So
well, and he had some of the same challenges we did with the SBA and getting a loan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he actually I think had told me something like 100+ pages of loan documentation.
Whoa.
Ours was not that crazy.
That's
but
awful.
I mean, the SBA is no joke, man. It's no joke getting through that process.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's a mess. Anything else that's going on in local beer news that you guys want to talk about?
Collective with their minor has been a little bit of an issue.
What is minor?
That is their Brewery Tarot not collaboration, according to the TABC. That they've put the TABC on blast, like Jester King usually does.
Yep.
Citing that they received some bottles in that were minor bottles, and that's Grisette actually that they made with Brewery Tarot.
Okay.
And you can't find it in Texas it was shipped to Texas, and you can't find it in Texas now because it says Collective Brewing Project on the label.
Yeah, and that's what Jester King had to do with the elements of composition.
Yeah, they had to take their name.
And Sante
Well, and this is back to what we were talking about earlier, where a brew pub in Texas is considered a retailer.
Yep.
And these other out-of-state breweries don't have that option. They can't be a brew pub in Texas, so they are automatically manufacturers. And when manufacturers and retailers do a collaboration,
right,
and they both have their name on a label, TABC sees that as a problem.
So the labels are literally like blacked out. At least in the Jester King ones, I'm not sure about these, but it's just blacked out. You can see where their name was on the label, but TABC's like, nah, you can't do that, even though everyone knows it's from them. Like,
I mean, but that's what St. Arnold and Brash did.
St. Arnold and Brash.
Not a collaboration.
Yeah, exactly. And they were very much poking fun at that, and I was amazed that actually went through TABC, just like making fun of TABC at the same time. But
they've improved other things in the last year or so that have been kind of redonkulous. So
yeah,
I like that word, redonkulous.
Yeah, like the Uncle Billy's. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but the Uncle Billy's IPA that came out. You remember that weird? Had a curse word in the name.
Oh yeah.
Cluster
Oh, you can. Oh, was that what it was called?
But it was redacted, like somewhat. I think it was.
But they approved clusterfuck. They approved that.
I mean, Brash has Pussy Wagon.
I know. I don't.
So
that's a cat. But I mean, you can't really do anything with the F word. Like that's pretty much what it is.
That's like one of those words you don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I blame it on all the controversy around specs. They were just on getting lit up by lawyers and everything else, and then they just kind of were like, okay, we'll just do anything, just get off our backs, like just don't do it, just leave us alone.
For those that don't know who are listening in, Collective Brewing is a small brew pub in Fort Worth that kind of focuses on sour stuff, funky stuff, weird beers. They do some clean stuff too, but I think they're most known for their sour collection.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. They make. I mean, their sours are excellent.
They are.
Beers, barrel-aged sours, not the kettle soured stuff. It's always barrel-aged, mixed culture stuff.
Old style.
Yep. Any other beer news that you guys can think of locally that's going on?
I know Steam Theory's opening up.
Yeah,
they don't have any of their own beer yet.
They're open, but
they're open. They just don't.
Their first house beers should be on within about a week, I think.
Yeah, it's coming up next week or two for sure.
Yeah, are they doing the Turning Point collaboration approach?
Oh no.
No, I don't think so.
Who else? Oaklift's putting out beer next week.
They had their
Brain
release.
Dead. Yeah,
we just talked about this.
Yeah, for the first event that I've seen that's going on with Oak Cliff is I think it's August 15th at Brain Dead Brewing.
Yeah.
And they're sort of doing a launch for the Oak Cliff guys, which I'm really excited about these guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do they know, like, not everybody knows about Oak Cliff and where the brewer came from and everything.
That is something we should definitely talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You want to kick it off?
Sure. I met their brewer, Todd Holder, who used to work at Prairie for 4 years as their head brewer. Within a couple days of him moving to town, because I know through my previous job, his girlfriend Courtney, and so she introduced us, and like we hit it off real well. Figured out what he did, and I was like, oh my gosh! And you're working. He was working at Texas Sale Project at the time. And am I allowed to talk crap about anybody?
You can say whatever you like.
Okay. Well, I'm not a huge fan of Texas Sale Project, so I warned him of some things, and then he eventually left because of things, and then just things in general. And then he went to Oak Cliff, and now Oak Cliff is like finally opening up in the next couple weeks, and they're gonna do some amazing stuff. I actually just went and tried all 7 beers that he has.
Oh man.
He is
Contacting Texas Sale Project now. Chris is ratting out Josh already.
Stitches, get Stitches, man.
Is Chris the TABC? Is that why he doesn't drink?
It's just him. But yeah, Oak Cliff is going to do some amazing stuff. He's the one that brought, Pirate Paradise and all those amazing beers that people pay $80 for a 12-ounce bottle for and all that, or upwards of $100 for certain ones. Like
Todd pioneered their stout program.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there since 4 years, and that's pretty much when they started coming here. And they didn't even they started out with Bible Belt, and that was like amazing at the time. And they started releasing Apple Brandy Noir and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so
some of the best stouts within a 500-mile radius.
Bomb, just regular
bomb is still
just regular bomb.
Something that if you're not spoiled by it, it's still an amazing beer.
Oh, I'm spoiled by it, and I've drank it probably 100 times.
You still do it.
I love that beer.
But so great stuff from Oak Cliff coming up for sure. And they're going to do all the different kinds of stuff, not just stouts. He did a New England IPA. He had a brut IPA. He had like a standard IPA. He had a black lager. It's a core brand that was actually really good. I'm surprised.
Okay.
Like they had some really awesome stuff. A great saison, refreshing, light. I can't wait to see. They're just still getting used to the new brewing system, but I mean, he'll master that thing in a month. So I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
That'll be awesome.
it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah.
Todd's going to do a fantastic job, and will definitely be a force to be reckoned with in the local beer scene.
Yeah,
without question.
Absolutely.
If he can even do 80% of what he did up in Oklahoma, he's definitely going to make some changes here in the local landscape.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I think unless you guys think of anything else local beer news related, let's move on to talk a little bit about Civil Pour, since Josh has recently joined our team.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So we talked a little bit about this with Corey the other day on sort of this impromptu podcast, but one of the things we're going to be focusing on, like I said earlier, is draft beer that's not available in package. Kind of having an interesting, constantly rotating set of beers. 25 taps that are beer, 5 taps dedicated to sort of non-alcoholic beverages. We're also a coffee shop, and we're going to be hopefully just as relevant on our coffee program as we are for our beer program.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Nitro and Still Cold Brew, 2 of those 5 taps, and hopefully like kombucha, some maybe a ginger beer, and then one other to be determined tap.
Figure that 5th tap out yet.
We'll figure
Root
it out.
beer, man.
Figure it out. Yeah, but
It'll kill your lines, man.
It will kill the line, and you have to be root beer
Yeah.
until the end of time.
Right.
All those beautiful, well-maintained lines that they took a picture of and posted today, yesterday that Chad posted. That's ruined. You can't. It's so difficult to replace that line.
I mean, we have the most impermeable lines there are.
Yeah.
The best ones you can buy, and if you clean them regularly, you can probably use them forever.
Yeah, that's how it goes. You
At least 5 years, maybe longer.
clean your
Except
lines
for
every
root
2 weeks. Clean them
Except for
every switch kegs over. Do an acid wash every however often. Yeah, you can. There's all sorts of things you can do if you care enough.
And one of the things we're going to be doing with our draft program is this growler filling robot from Austria by this company named Gruber. Gruber is well known in the commercial brewing space for making, I want to say keg washers and maybe keg fillers and
I'm
some
not
other
that
things.
familiar with Gruber until you mentioned it. I hadn't heard of them, but I mean, I know they do a bunch of different stuff.
Gruber is well known in the brewing industry on the commercial production side, and we have purchased as a retailer a growler filler from these guys. It's come straight from Austria. It will fill all of our taps in a completely oxygen-free environment.
It's enormous too.
It's
beautiful.
amazing.
It's a thing of beauty, man.
Yeah, and if you want the best growler fill in town, There is not another one of these in the state of Texas, and I think in the entire U.S. there's about 25.
Oh, really?
So there's not very many, and they're found at places like Sierra Nevada, Avery Brewing, Forbidden Root in Chicago, places that are well established. And I don't even know if another retailer has one.
It
may be possible.
I'm sure there's somebody out there, but I mean, it's still super rare, and it just speaks to how much Civil 4 cares about the product and what's going to the consumer.
I mean, so I sort of looked at it as it's a piece of hardware that as long as we keep take care of it, it will last forever.
Yeah.
And every customer that comes in the door and gets a growler fill will see the benefit from it.
Absolutely.
And so,
without question.
I guess people who don't know, what's the benefit of it? Like, what's so fancy about a machine that fills it without having it, have oxygen in it?
Yeah, so if you take a flexible line off a draft handle and you attach it to the faucet, you put your growler in there and you open the handle, what immediately happens is the beer is filling in oxygen. Okay. And oxygen immediately starts breaking the beer down right away. Right. And the beer starts oxidizing at that moment.
Immediately.
And oxidation will reduce carbonation, introduce flavors like wet cardboard, papery flavors,
tomato paste,
and other things that are just undesirable.
Yeah.
Right.
And in this instance, what happens is it's a sealed environment. The vessel fills with CO2 and then fills bottom up. No waste, no foam. I don't have beer spilling out. All these guys are dealing with that problem. And it's because it's designed to do that.
Okay.
It's designed to fill. It's just like a production brewery where the vessel is purged of CO2. It's then filled and capped on foam.
Yep. And so I can theoretically keep this beer for ever.
Yep.
And then I can still pop it open and it'll just CO2 hiss, just like opening a can or bottle.
I've had year-old growlers filled from one of these machines, and it tastes just as good as the day it was filled.
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
Yep. It's no different than a production brewery. It really is the same process.
Okay. I didn't realize it was that serious. It's amazing.
Yep. Gosh. So that's what we're going to be doing on the beer side of things.
What year-old beer did you have of the Gruber?
So it was a Danish brewer.
Okay.
And I wish I could tell you what the brewery name was, because it's one of those where it's kind of an obscure Danish word. It's like Hans Bryggeriet or something like that, you know. But they produced these flip-top 1-liter growlers with the ceramic cap, and it was 3 different versions of an imperial stout. And it was like one was cognac barrel aged, and one was bourbon, and one was unbarrel aged.
Yeah.
And they were all like about a year after fill, and they were perfect.
Oh,
I mean, just perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have to do that on your first day, is just fill a bunch of those.
I'm just going to fill an IPA immediately and see what happens to it.
Just seal it for a year, call it.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we'll check you on
I might just fill like a couple and just do every 6 months, or just fill 4 and do every 6 months and just see how it develops. Maybe it'll taste great at 2 years. Who knows?
Could be.
You never know. Certain IPAs turn into barley wines.
It's true.
Yeah, I know.
Imperial
Sadly.
IPAs.
Well, it's not going to happen to this one. I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen.
Okay. We're also going to do some interesting things on the coffee side of the house. As much as I've been in the beer industry for about 7 years, we are legitimizing ourselves in the coffee world.
Yep.
Now, we're going to have this device called a pour steady. And the pour steady is the second one in Texas. There's another one in Houston. And the pour steady automates the process of pouring water over the grounds of coffee. The nice thing is, if you go to a coffee shop, any coffee shop worth its salt, you can get a Chemex, or you can get a V60, or there's a couple other pour-over systems. But the problem with those systems is there's a guy or a girl pouring water over the grounds, and it's never a consistent process. It's different every time. There's human error. But Pour Steady automates the process, and we're going to have 5 different rotating coffees on at all times from different regions of the world and different roasters that we really love, that we've fully vetted into having the best coffee. And if you look in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, you can kind of see what the Pour Steady is. And that's the version we're going to have, the 5 version, where it'll do 5 different cups of coffee, totally automates the process, and we can really go through these things fast and make delicious coffee for people on the fly by the cup.
Sounds like the Pour Steady's taking our jobs.
In a way.
Yeah.
Somebody still has to operate the Pour Steady, though.
I know. I'm just kidding.
But that's actually another. You're opening a can of worms, Josh. But
I'm just kidding.
another topic near and dear to my heart is actually artificial intelligence. because there will be jobs taken away
Yeah, of
by
course.
robots.
It's a reality.
And it's already happened.
Yep.
I actually made the analogy to somebody the other day who was sort of mad about the kiosk at McDonald's, right? And they're like, they're putting kiosks in and they're taking our jobs. But I'm like, well, if you think back to, I think it was the 60s, the automated teller machine was invented at the bank. And you know what it allowed us to do was go and get our money anytime we want. And I think a lot of people were probably resistant.
Yeah.
They're like, I want to get my money from a person because I've been dealing with a person. But really, as long as you get what you want in the end, food, why not improve the process and the efficiencies?
How many people want to deal with a person at like a fast food restaurant, though?
Apparently a lot, because there was public outrage over it.
Okay, I guess so.
It's not in my personal. I don't go to a lot of fast food places, but people are sort of up in arms about maybe removing jobs. There's a lot of jobs created along the way too.
Right.
Because you have people that create these things and make the ordering easy, servicing
them, et cetera, et
So
cetera.
you're creating new jobs along the way.
One day the robots are going to replace the guys that are creating. They're just going to create their own stuff.
Robots that create
so
robots.
smart. They're just going to create other robots to take us all over. It's going to happen.
Someday.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in my
Eventually.
lifetime.
It won't be. I'm making sure of it for sure. I got it under control.
One more thing to mention about Civilpoor. We are currently hiring for most all positions at the moment at civilpoor.com/jobs. You can apply right on our website. We have about 10 openings for bartenders, baristas, and a litany of other things to help out with our crew.
Cool.
And you can work for this guy.
It'll be a pleasure, I swear.
It will be.
I like how you have to say that.
Yeah.
You have to.
They don't know me. I don't know. It's a great looking place, though. It's going to be doing great things, innovative things in coffee and beer, and just quality is the number one. And as far as I can tell, quality is the number one thing in Civilpoor, and it will continue to be that way. And innovation and just making people happy and giving them the best experience possible.
Well, I think just like FreePlay has this sort of mantra of only using original game hardware, making sure that it's always up and running, and I think they hold themselves to a standard that is almost unattainable when it comes to video game uptime. If you come to a FreePlay location, there is almost never a situation where a game just does not work.
Yeah.
It's always original hardware, never emulation. Even what's the Laserdisc game? Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair and Dragon's Lair 2.
Thank you to Christelle.
Yeah.
Running on an original Laserdisc, which is unheard of.
They recently pulled Dragon's Lair 2 because it finally died from Arlington. And I don't think they're going to put it out unless they find another Dragon's Lair 2 disc.
Well,
I really don't think.
It's probably attainable, but hard to find.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no. At least in here, I can speak to. If something's broken, it's usually because someone's trying to fix it.
Okay.
Or we don't know about it.
I've only seen one game
things.
down ever, I think, and I was like, oh, that's weird. It wasn't like, other places things are broken. You're like, oh, that makes sense. It just kind of happens at Chuck E. Cheese. But at FreePlay, you expect everything to be working, and almost always is. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, and that commitment to quality is the exact same thing that we are hoping to maintain at Civilpoor.
Absolutely.
Always pouring the best coffee, always having the best beer on draft at all times. We're even going to have a local baker to produce our pastries for us, which we've been through 2 rounds so far of tasting, and she's constantly refining. And she made a Earl Grey macaron, which is one of my favorite pastries in the world.
It's fantastic.
And that Earl Grey macaron was absolutely delicious. She nailed it. She told me we did the first tasting last week, and she the macaron was just not quite right. I think it was new to her, and
it was a little dense, as you said.
It was a little dense, but then today she said she's made it every day since she met with us the first time.
Killed it.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was perfect. So we're going to have some really, really great pastries. And not to be outdone, one of my favorite places in the world is this sandwich shop in Denver named Mondo Market.
Never heard of them.
You haven't heard of it?
Nope.
So you guys are beer nerds. You've heard of Crooked Stave, right?
Of course, I wore their shirt today.
Did you?
Yeah, it was the Surrett shirt.
Right. You did have a Surrett shirt on.
Yeah.
In Denver, Crooked Stave has a space in a big old warehouse they've rehabbed called The Source.
Oh, yeah.
Inside of The Source is a butcher and a taco place and a chocolate shop and a wine shop and there's this little tiny, like, I don't want to call it a convenience store because it's not, but they have all these artisanal foods.
Okay.
And you can get things like cured meats, like a Solo Maria. You can get sort of like, potato chips that were made from small independent producers, and you can get really good dairy from local farms. And in there, they have a sandwich program that is one of the best I've ever had, and the place is tiny, tiny, tiny. And it inspired me to make the best panini sandwich program I know how.
Oh, I haven't tasted a panini yet, but I'm really excited about it whenever it does happen.
Friday.
Friday?
Friday.
Oh, can't wait.
Friday we'll be dialing in.
Put that on your calendar, man.
I'm going to write it down, man.
Put that on your calendar. I don't know what time yet, but Friday's when we're going to do that.
I'll be there.
All right.
Panini ready.
Anyway, again, check us out, civilpoor.com. If you're looking for a job, civilpoor.com/jobs. We are definitely looking for some good quality people. If you love beer and you love coffee or one or the other, we can teach you to love the other one. Looking for all positions right now. And thank you for joining us on the stream. Zach, thank you for being here.
Of course.
Is there anything else you all wanted to talk about before we sign off?
Not that I can think of.
And Josh, thanks for joining as well.
Of course. Thanks for
this was a
having
good
me.
time.
Glad to be here.
I'm Chad Montgomery, your host from Free Play Arlington. Stop in tonight for the community beer event if you haven't stopped in yet. I think we still have some interesting things going on and some delicious beers. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.